if we have anyone join, you know, after now, then we'll, oh, there's Miss Linda. All right. So I can write down Miss Linda. But what I want to say is, you know, us government people, we have to keep paperwork for everything. We can't just do it for enjoyment. That's going to be on recording on YouTube. But I'm very thankful for the government because I wouldn't have this job if it wasn't for it.
No, that's right.
But no,
that's why you have to keep names in it.
The paperwork is no problem. I just got to keep attendance, and then like, okay, so if you come, there's 16 total classes, and if you come to, I think it's 10 of the 16, then you are what's considered a completer. And so as a completer, you get a special prize. So I keep attendance for that, but also, you know, that government stuff. So Miss Linda, I hope you had no problems today getting on. I think we got Zoom updated, so we shouldn't have any more problems with that.
Didn't have a problem.
Ma'am?
I didn't have a problem.
Well, good. That's the way we like it. But just know, if y'all ever have a problem, let me know or let Alexie know, or whatever your most comfortable contact is. And we may not have control over it, but we can easily call Miss Janice at Claris, and she has a team that troubleshoots and figures that stuff out. So what I was going to say is, no matter what we do, we want to focus on the Tai Chi principles. So, I mean, I can just stand here and not do anything, but I can practice at least one Tai Chi principle, and that is, or let's call it, well, we can do several. All right, even without moving right now, I'm practicing 3 Tai Chi principles, maybe 4. If I'll be quiet, I'll have the 4th. One is an upright posture, where I have like a string that goes up my back or pulls up and down at the same time. Good posture, upright, my shoulders are relaxed. I have a good weight balance, where I have the same amount of weight on both feet, and my feet have a wide stance. That's a nice stable stance. Also, I have open joints, which means I have a soft bend in my knee, I have a soft bend in my elbow, and so that is one of our principles for say hi, Olivia. My daughter's off school this week, and I think she was trying to figure out how to get out of this room without being seen, and she got a big fat
We called her.
Do what?
I said we called her.
Yep. She ran into this cooler right here that serves as my table. Anyway, so that's a principle that we can use everywhere we go. Song joint, so I have the soft bend in my knees and elbows. And then if I'll be quiet, then I'm practicing mental quietness. So no matter what we're doing in our class, whether it be our warm-ups or our actual moves, as long as we're practicing principles, we're going to get the benefits of Tai Chi. Big time for me is reducing stress, feelings of anxiety, because I get so wrapped up and in a hurry and overwhelmed. So being able to stop and just breathe and do something slow, that's big for me. This program is intended for balance. So anytime you're shifting weight from one leg and shifting weight to the other leg, even without picking a foot up off the floor, that weight transference helps build muscle that makes you stronger and more able so that you don't fall. Those are benefits that we get just from following principle. Our goal is to increase our flexibility and mobility reducing tension through the movements that we do. For instance, when we do that neck exercise and we look towards that shoulder, you feel that nice release of tension. It stretches that muscle. When we do that, separate the heavens and the earth, you feel those muscles give a nice stretch, and that helps reduce tension. If you don't properly stretch your muscles, then it can start causing you pain. If you don't properly stretch your muscles, your muscles can start knotting up. So if anybody's ever given you a back massage, they may feel a knot in your back. That's typically where we keep knots, is in our back. So stretching is so important, and we do that first thing. So hopefully you're already warmed up, but let's just walk and open and close our hands, pumping our arms. We want to be warm anytime we go into movement, which reduces our chance of injury. And that everything that we're against is injury, right? We're trying to help ourselves, not hurt ourselves. And warming up those muscles gives us that good start. Go ahead and find your breath, making sure you're inhaling and exhaling. I know it's easy sometimes to hold your breath when you're doing something new. So just check in with yourself every now and again. Make sure you're breathing. And that goes throughout the day. You know, I catch myself holding my breath whenever I'm busy and in the middle of something. And then I'll go, Lord, I haven't taken a good breath in a minute. So just check yourself, as well as checking your posture, just the way you're holding your body through the day. And that's called body awareness. And that's a gift that Tai Chi gives us, so that we better hold our body properly, so that we're the best supported and less likely to fall. So let's get in that good posture stance, nice stable stance, and we'll begin with our neck warm-ups. Hands are to our side. We bring our hands up, in, push away, and follow them down. Feeling a little stretch in the back of your neck. I like to inhale as I come up and then just exhale whenever I'm ready. Other neck exercise starts out that same way. Drop one hand and follow this one as you look over that shoulder.
Yeah, Mickey, quit. Lay down. Dog's trying to interfere.
I was talking about dogs this morning, about how whenever you enter a room, kind of get an idea of anything that's on the floor. And if there's a pet, to make sure that they're not up under your feet, because that can be a fall hazard. We have a new puppy at our house, so that's really fresh on my mind, because that little puppy wants to be right up under me, because he wants to be picked up. Oh, but he's so cute. So Pitch got him a new puppy, and Pitch is happy. And Pitch is a big dog. Pitch is a full-size poodle dog. And if y'all, I know Mr. James knows, but if you see the video from when I was at my house, he's right there on the floor. He would have easily gotten my way. But he likes to be near me. All right, let's roll those shoulders. First, rolling them forward, which probably feels a little awkward, and then rolling them back. That feels like a nice little massage you give yourself. Always roll forward first, and then roll back second. And reset your posture. So let's do big shoulder circles. Come up, palms up, and push down in front of us. Do one more. Let's grab your ball. Hands facing each other. Now let's separate. One hand goes up, the other goes down, keeping a soft bend in your elbow, stretching that spine. Come back to your ball and switch. Other hand goes up and the other hand down. You should feel that nice vertical stretch in your spine as you separate. In terms of breathing, I like to inhale as I come to my ball and then exhale as I separate. Feel like that stretch is a little deeper whenever I breathe that way. Let's breathe into that stretch. Very good. I see y'all's elbows and they are not locked, and I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all get an A+.
Well, thank you.
For song joints.
Very good.
All right, now let's take our ball for a ride. Not keeping any tension in those shoulders as we hold that ball, and take it side to stop just above that knee. Switch hands and come back across. Continuing to breathe as you go side to side. There's no exact moment when to inhale and when to exhale. It's just when you naturally feel the need. Of course, we're going slowly, but probably not slow enough to do a complete exhale as we move across. Because we're not going way over here, because we start causing some tension in our knee and back. So we just keep it really small. Now today we're really going to focus on waving hands in clouds. And I just want you to note this movement that we just did, where we moved our torso. So when we do waving hands in clouds, only the hands change. The torso movement is the same. So it'll look like this. So my torso didn't change, just the looks of my hands. And that's what I think is so smart about our warm-up moves, is that it really prepares us for our Tai Chi movements. All right. Let's see. That was for our spine. Now let's go to our hips. So this is where it gets serious in terms of shifting our weight to one leg. So we're going to shift our weight to that one leg. It doesn't matter which. Place our heel forward and our hands go back. Then we're going to pause in the middle and then put that toe back like at an angle, like a kickstand, and our hands are forward. So let's do a couple more of those. Heel forward, hands back. Pause and toe back, hands forward. You can skip these hand movements and hold on to a chair. The leg movement is truly what's the most important in terms of our hips, but in the fall prevention. Shift our weight to the other leg, heel forward, hands back, pause, and toe back, hands forward. That leg out to the side is important for balance. It's a more stable stance than if I were to take my leg straight back. You can even try it if you feel brave. But there's a difference. Holding it here makes me very wobbly. Holding it out here really widens that stance and makes it more stable. The next one for our hips, we're shifting our weight to the side, lifting and tapping. Bring it back. Change hands, shift, staying within our frame, tap out. So I'm not going any further than when my body ends right there. If I start going any further, I start leaning and leaning is falling or going towards falling. Don't forget to breathe. And I usually say that when I catch myself holding my breath. That's the secret. It's hard to talk and breathe.
Yeah.
Because talking is an exhale. And I talk a lot. All right. To the middle. Nice loose fist down at our hips with no relaxed shoulders. You can have your fist up here at your waist as long as you don't have tension. I just feel most comfortable with mine down here at my hips. So we're going to shift. Let me scoot back a little so you don't lose my feet. We're going to shift our weight, lift, tap and punch that opposite arm. Bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch. Bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch. Bring it back, shift, lift, tap and punch. You see that pause every now and again? I got to check my balance. And that's okay. You don't have to be super balanced all the time. Just being aware of your body and feeling that little bit of wobble, and then get yourself in check so that you don't fall. I talk sometimes about my knee, and I have good and bad days with that knee. I had Osgood-Schlatters disease when I was a teenager, and I think when you get older, it changes over to arthritis. I think that's just the progression of it. Just like a sports injury. These guys who played football and got beat to heck, now their sports injuries are arthritis, but they wouldn't dare call them that, would they? All right, shift the weight. Step out. Shift weight to that front foot, keeping that back foot on the ground. Bring that punch back, feet side by side. Shift, step, shift and punch. Bring it back, feet side by side. One more on each side. Step, shift, bring it back, side by side. Last time, shift, step, shift and punch, bring it back, side by side. Now for our ankles, shift the weight, heel, toe, heel, toe. Bring it back, shift the weight, heel, toe, heel, toe. Bring it back, shift, and now go big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe. Bring that foot back, shift the weight, little toe, big toe. Shake it out. So those are all our movements. Now, just like we did last week, I just really like this idea of going through the movements, just kind of one per side, to do it in a quiet way, and hopefully we'll be able to transition our warm-up moves to less talking. I just never want to leave you hanging so you're wondering, what am I supposed to be doing? So let's go through about one of each for each, sometimes two, and just follow me through a short warm-up session with Jing, which is mental quietness. So here we go, starting with our neck. Like, what's my next body part?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Minus my little blunder on what body part came after spine. I hope that you saw the transition from movement to movement, how you give that movement respect all the way to the end. So when we did that first neck, and then to the other side, we didn't get in a hurry to go to the next one. We came back to center, slowly lowered, then started. Whenever we did the back, we completed that, then started the front. So there was or started the next one. So there is a continuous movement, like I said, other than my little blunder, there's a continuous movement, but you still gave respect to the full movement. And so that's something that as we learn our Tai Chi movements, I want you to remember, you know, when we do that single whip, we go all the way to the end, and then we prepare to get started for the next movement. So don't get in a hurry to go to the next one. Give each part of each movement the respect. And sometimes I think that's what's hard to grasp, is a continuous movement is not rushed. It's still slow and it gives full respect. All right, so is everybody good on our warm-ups?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So my intention is to do less and less talking as we progress through class, so that we can experience the quiet version of Tai Chi. So now we're going to do our Tai Chi movements, commencement, open and close, single whip, and then we're going to go into our waving hands and clouds and beyond. So last week we finished our 6, and we're just going to get fine-tune those movements. So let's start with commencement. I'll talk you through it. Nice stable stance, wide stance, weight on both legs, good posture. We're breathing and preparing ourselves for slow, smooth, continuous movement. Here we go, and commence. Bring those hands up. Down we shift right. Step left, bring those hands in and up. Shift left as those hands go out. Right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip. Shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, eyes following that left hand. Shift left, bring that right foot back, hands down. Waving hands in clouds. Step right, fix hands, turn, shift, step, switch, 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 turn. To the middle for open and close. I'm going to talk you through the rest. Single whip, shift right, step left, push, turn, separate, following that right hand, shift right, bring that left foot back, hands down, waving hands in clouds, step, switch, turn, shift, 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 step, switch, turn. To the middle for open and close. And close it out. How was that? Was that scary?
Yes.
You know why I do that? I do that on purpose because it checks yourself. It checks yourself to go, oh, I'm really good at commencement. Oh, I got that. That one I'm comfortable with. Ooh, I'm a master at open and close. And then suddenly you go, oh, I didn't know I was needing extra help with the single whip, or hey, whenever I went to do that waving hands in clouds, I didn't know whether I was stepping or changing or the right way. I don't know what I was doing. So it gives you an idea of what you need to work on. And so that's what I like about it. So I'm going to turn around and talk you through it in the same way. Okay, so if I turn around, I'm going to go that way. So I need to start over here. Y'all know when I'm turned facing y'all, I'm lying to y'all. When I'm turned backwards, I'm telling the truth. And I get myself so confused. So y'all know if I ever start laughing, it's because I don't know if I'm moving right, saying left. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm laughing at myself because I caught myself in a lie.
We sure don't know.
Do what?
I said, we sure don't know.
I wouldn't be a good poker player, would I? Because I'll be telling the truth with my face. All right, let's give it a go. Again, it doesn't mean you're perfect. We're just working through it and knowing where we're gonna get better. So let's start stable stance, wide, weight on both feet, relax shoulders, hands to our side, and commence. Bring those hands up, down, shift right, step left, bring those hands up, shift left as those hands go out, bring the right foot forward, hands come back, open and close. Single whip, shift left, step right, push, turn, separate, following that left hand, shift left, bring that right foot back, hands down, waving hands in clouds, step right, fix hands, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn. Last time, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, and to the middle for open and close. Single whip, shift right, step left, push, turn, separate, following that right hand. Shift right, bring that left foot back, hands down, waving hands in clouds. Step left, switch, and turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. Last time. Shift, step, switch, turn. Shift, step, switch, turn. To the middle for open and close. Close it out. So you may have found it easier to follow me when I'm turned around. That works better for me. Some of you know how to do it both ways, and I'm not worthy because I can't do mirror image with an instructor. It just blows my mind. So I like to face y'all and do it because I like for y'all to see what's going on with my hands. You know, if I'm here doing commencement, you can see that when I'm facing you, but when I'm turned around, you can't see what's going on with my hands. So to me, it's important to do it both ways so that you see it. As long as you understand when I'm facing you and I say shift right, that this right here technically is my left foot. But remember, I'm your mirror whenever I'm facing you. So if me and you were the same person in a mirror, I'm your mirror. I shift right, and then your right foot is on this side. We're mirrored. So even though technically that's my left foot. But when I turn around, this is my right. That's technically my right foot. So I shift right, step left. So just keep in mind that's what I'm doing. Turned around is your mirror image. Turn back around, I'm on the same plane as y'all. We're doing the same thing, same feet. Just thinking about the types of questions that you may have that maybe I haven't explained very well. Single whip. So when we shift our weight, well, let's do the first one. Shift left, step right. Whenever I stepped right, I stepped at an angle. So here my feet are beside each other. I shift, and I see how I turned my body as I stepped at that angle. So it's not a very big step, but I am definitely stepping out. If I look down, the heel of the foot that stepped out and the toe of the foot that didn't are about in the same line. Now, I caution you against looking down because when you look down, that takes you towards falling. So, you know, we try to keep our chin up and not look down so that we're not working towards falling. So, I have the luxury, I can see myself in that camera. Can y'all see yourself? Or are you tiny? You're tiny.
On the tablet, I can.
Okay, you're a little tiny thing. Okay, so shift, and then whenever I step out, I basically even my weight out to my feet. And I think that's a part that I kind of brush past and forget to mention every time, is that I shift. So now my weight's on this foot. I step out. Then I even out the weight. So now I have weight on this front foot and on the back foot. So that right there is called a staggered stance. And that's a very stable stance. Staggering your feet like this. So that whenever you, after you get finished doing that whip, that's what it's called, a single whip. And that right there is the whip part of the movement. When you get out all the way, now you shift to that back foot again and bring the right foot back, hands down. Then we're going to step right out with that foot. So if this right here feels very unstable for you, and it does, and it should, go ahead and step out. I say it should, it doesn't have to. It's natural, I guess is the better thing to say. It's natural for you to feel unbalanced with your feet that close together. Even though the weight's on one foot, bring it out for a more stable stance. So that's that part of single whip that I think I kind of forget is the even out the weight. So shift left, step right, adjust the weight or even out the weight, push, turn, separate, following that left hand, shift, bring that right foot back, hands down. Remembering to, when you come out, turn, you're following your left hand, but you're not forgetting this right hand. You're continuing to open both hands. Sometimes it's easy to forget about the hand you're not looking at. So remember that motion, bringing both hands out. And what else? Oh, I know what I was going to say. That neck, that feeling in that neck, same as this. That warm-up movement. So that's an example of how our warm-up movement prepares us for our Tai Chi. All right, so let's practice those commencement, open and close single whip. I'm going to do it forward facing and then I'll turn around. Here we go and commence. Single whip. So you see that little delay in whenever I brought that hand down? There's nothing wrong with that. You can bring it down or leave this one up. It's the transition move from this move to the waving hands in clouds. You're going to bring that hand down. It's just when you bring it down is the question. All right, let's do it from this way. And commence. And then close. Single whip. How was that? Very good.
That was good.
So, talking about those little pieces of single whip, hopefully of where your weight needs to be in those different times. So one leg is the step, then you give both legs weight, then you bring the weight back to that back leg, bring that foot in, and then you'll step out. Just thinking about where your weight is in all the different parts. Because if you were to shift the weight and step out, but not give that front foot any weight at all, imagine how tired this leg is going to get. If you were to shift the weight, keep the weight, even when you step out, keep the weight while you do the whip, and then bring it back. That's a long time to have that weight on that one leg. So give it a break, shift, step, make the weight adjustment as you do the whip in your hands, then shift, bring it back, and get ready to move forward with waving hands and clouds. Waving hands and clouds. Hands and feet together, to me, is probably one of the most beneficial moves. Just the footwork of waving hands and clouds. Very beneficial to growing muscles so that your legs are stronger. Your stabilizer muscles that help keep you from falling. Even if you just practice waving hands and clouds, footwork over and over until you get to a wall where you step out, shift, follow step, shift. It's that Tai Chi walking I've told y'all about. When I step, it's an empty step. I'm not immediately giving it weight. Then I give it weight. Then I step, shift, step, shift, step, shift, step. So this is the footwork of waving hands and clouds that can be so beneficial for falls prevention. So you don't even have to worry about what you're doing with your hands. You can keep your hands to the side. Something that I didn't intentionally do this, but I started doing like this, which was like pulling weight, pushing weight, pulling weight as I go through waving hands and clouds. This is not a Tai Chi move, but it looks very much like Tai Chi. I started intentionally doing this movement as I Tai Chi walked, as I shifted weight and released weight. You see, shift weight, release weight. So as the weight is being lifted off this foot and given to this foot, my hand went in that direction. So I went, see that? And it's kind of a cool thing that happened because it is a visual of where weight is on my legs. Now I'm trying to talk and do it and get it all wrong. But it's that weight shift where magic really happens, where it really does help with stamina, of course, because you're walking, but it helps with that balance. How about coordination? Speaking of that timing, but forget your hands. I mean, you can put your hands behind your back. Step and shift, step, shift. So you can take that out of waving hands and clouds and just practice this walking, and you're going to find improvement in your balance. So even though we do learn a series of movements of Tai Chi, don't think that you can't just pull out parts and just do those. So for instance, the hand work of waving hands and clouds, very much like holding the ball and going side to side, very much like that, except we have our hand cross body and we turn, then we bring it down, bring the other one up and turn, switch, turn. So you can do this movement or you can do the ball warm-up movement, but that's a spinal movement. So I just stood there and did that, or you can do, this is a rolly chair. I don't typically recommend a rolly chair for using it for support, but if your feet are planted and you're, you know what? I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, I rolled that thing on my ankle. That hurt. And I didn't say a cuss word on recording. How about that? All right, here's my stable chair. Got my feet planted. You know, I can close my eyes and I'm not going anywhere. Whenever I'm standing up, I don't like to close my eyes. You know, I don't feel the support of that chair. I'm just kind of out here by myself. So, but when I sit down, there's something about that makes me feel supported. I feel more comfortable closing my eyes. And when my eyes are closed, I can get into that gene, that mental quietness going through that movement. So whether I'm doing my ball, watch, I'm inhaling and exhaling, going side to side. At my own pace, not at any certain time. but breathing nonetheless. Taking my time, just enjoying that slow, smooth, continuous side by side. I can do that, or I can do the waving hands and clouds movement, which is here. So my hand is crossbody, my other hand is down, like it's sitting on a drum or a table. So I'm going to turn, switch, turn, breathing at my own pace as I go side to side. So the rhythm of this movement is relaxing, right? Just the rhythm of it. Our bodies naturally relax with that rhythm. And so when we relax, then guess what? We feel the benefit of a stress reduction. We feel the benefit of any anxiety. We just breathe in. We're taking it slow, smooth, continuous. We're nice and supported by that chair. So that's different benefits for the different parts of that movement. So by all means, practice the waving hands and clouds, stepping to the side, step, shift, step, shift. Tiny steps, small steps, making a slow progression. We're not even having to worry about what our hands are doing. All we're worried about is upright posture and weight transfer. We're worried about body structure. Go to the other side because I was going to run into that table. Here you can find the most comfortable amount of space for you. That's based on your body. Okay, so there's that. Working on stabilizer muscles. And then I go, all right, legs, I'm going to give you a break. I'm either going to sit down or I'm just going to stand here as I breathe and wave hands and clouds. Now I can just worry about my hands moving and enjoy the rhythm of that movement. And I don't have to worry about what my legs are doing. My legs are still. They're not doing anything. So I like breaking up waving hands and clouds so you can get all the benefit of that and then change and get all the benefit from that. Because putting them together, you talk about causing a little bit of stress for you. Because that's whenever you start going, I'll never learn how to do this. but you will. It just takes time and practice. So remember, the words, and you may have a different order, and if you can read backwards, then you can read this real easy.
Step,
Which
turn, step.
Turn, and then it says as I shift. So you can have 4 words: switch, step, turn, shift. And they may be in a different order for you, but those are your 4 words: switch, step, turn, shift. So I have these written on a Post-it on my wall in front of me. This is my old paper before, when I used to use different words, and it says step, empty, change hands. So that's my new word now is switch. It used to be change. Then I have wave right here. Now I say turn, and then it says shift weight. So this was what used to work for me until I realized that when we do waving hands and clouds, even though it's called waving hands, we actually turn. We don't really wave. We turn our bodies. Turn. So I thought it was better to start using the word turn than to use the word wave. But I used wave because that's the name of the movement. So when you do waving hands and clouds, here you're coming from that single whip movement. Remember your words. Step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn. You see why I like to have those words on a postie in front of me? So that the postie can be my brain and I can just move my body to what the postie says to do. So those 4 words help tell me what to do so I can step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn. Okay, you got it? So that was very robot-y, wasn't it? That. Step, switch, turn, shift, step, switch, turn. It's almost like a robot. That's how it is when you're first doing it. So you can eventually transition, still having those words on your postie note. Follow the postie, but make it more smooth to where you're doing here. So I'm turning as I shift, stepping as I switch, turning as I shift, stepping as I switch. So see how it becomes more smooth whenever I start combining movements, which goes along with slow, smooth, and continuous. So that's our challenge, is to practice just the upper body. Really feel that rhythm. Practice just that lower body. Working on weight transfer. What space feels most comfortable as you take those steps. Break up top and body. Then put them together and make it just as busted up and robotic that you need it to be. Step, switch, turn, shift, slow it down as you read the postie, what to do next, do that, then look at your postie and go, okay, next I do this, okay, next I do this, okay, next, and start practicing, and then start combining it to where it's step and switch, shift and turn, step, switch, shift and turn, step and switch, shift and turn, step and switch, shift and turn, step and switch, shift and turn, and then you'll be able to just do it. You're not even saying the words. You've done it so many times, your body knows that rhythm. So that's the progression of how to get better with waving hands and clouds. Make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's give ourselves a fist massage. We've done good work today. We'll do more next week. These are our basic 6 movements. And we'll get better at those. And when y'all are ready, we'll transition to our advanced 6. Gather tension and then release it. Feels better to release it. No pain. Gather and release. Gather and release. Big shoulder circle. Now we have our fist that represents our strength. Our fingers together represents our friendship. Our thumb in is our humility. So we have strength, friendship, and humility. And in mutual respect, we put those together and we say namaste.
Okay.
Namaste.
So do y'all have any questions for me today? Are y'all
I want to write down those 4 words.
all right? You want my 4 words? Here's my words, and you may have to adjust them to your order.
Right.
But the 4 words are switch, step,
Yeah.
turn, shift.
Okay.
And eventually you'll combine which and step and turn and shift. Eventually those 2 will happen at the same time, and then those 2 will happen at the same time.
Okay.
Eventually, don't stress yourself out.
I just needed to remember the words.
Those are our words. And you may
Okay.
like a different word. You may like change instead of switch, and it's the same thing. You may like wave instead of turn. But anyway, whatever it is that helps you. And then, of course, if you have any questions between now and next Tuesday, just let me know. And I'll get anything answered that I'm able to, and get with somebody that's smarter than me if it's something I don't know.
Okay.
I love y'all, and I'll see you next week.
All right,
Love
then.
you.
Good week.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye.